Hi, Martin Kelly here of QuakerQuaker.org, and I'm here with Charles Martin of San Francisco Meeting, and he's going to tell us a little bit about Bible reading in the manner of conservative friends.
Well, I have to say that there's a disclaimer here that if you went to Ohio Yearly Meeting and told them you wanted to have a meeting for worship where you also included Bible reading in the manner of conservative friends, they'd wonder what you were talking about.
Okay.
This was an invention, a hybridization by West Coast friends who were instituting Christian worship through the Christian Friends Conference. And we felt that it was important to include reading the Bible as part of the introductory work of our meeting for worship so that it would be Christ-centered.
Okay.
Part of the reason that we do it without any commentary, that is where it is in the manner of conservative friends, because it was our understanding that in personal Bible reading in the home, where most conservative friends would be doing their Bible reading, that they don't read Bibles that have commentary. They just read the text and read it in the spirit in which it was written.
Okay.
So that none of the what we call airy notions come in or human theology. It's reading the text as it was written to be spiritually guided.
Okay.
And so our experience at the Christian Friends Conference is that by having the first half hour of a 2 to 3 hour meeting for worship exclusively given over to reading Scripture as led leads to a more worshipful and more Christ-centered worship.
Okay. So it's sort of a way of getting more liberal friends to find a Christ-centered worship?
That's correct. I think if you've attended any liberal meetings and where most of our attenders at the Christian Friends Conference come from, at a liberal meeting, anything could be open up for discussion. So people come to our meeting for worship and they might still think that, well, we can talk about politics or we can talk about what a wonderful day it was in the park or something. But really we're here to talk about how God is working within us, how God is guiding us. And the leading text that we have for that, besides the writings of early friends, is this Christian Scriptures. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, great. And how does the actual process work? If someone wanted to replicate this in their meeting, they've heard about this, they want to do it.
Well, it's very simple. First, you just get a group of people. It doesn't have to be a very large group that agrees to meet for worship. We do extended worship, and it lasts for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, but it doesn't have to be that long. And we also practice what is called waiting worship, which means that we believe that if we wait upon the Lord, that His presence will come into our meeting. And if we wait as waiting upon a table, as offering the Lord our services, that it will enhance the meeting for worship. And then it's just a matter, and you don't have to restrict the Bible reading to just a certain part of the meeting or exclude other ministry from the part of the meeting the way the Christian Friends Conference does it. That's just our sort of peculiar little quirk.
So it's a tool you can adapt. It's not a precise form. You found it a useful tool.
Right. And now the San Francisco meeting also does this now. Once a quarter we have an extended meeting for worship where we do that. But being a liberal meeting, we say that any spiritual text can be read. So we've had people read from the Bhagavad Gita, for instance. So it's different than if you were attending a Christian Friends Conference. With that one, it'd be it would be fun.
Okay. So people, we just had it here in the workshop we had. So people sit down. There's usually a little bit of settled time, and then people will stand and read part of the Bible.
Right.
They'll say what the verse is.
Yeah, I think the proper way to do it is to stand up, announce what book you're reading from, the chapter and verse, and also the translation, because many of us use different translations. Today I read from the Message, a modern paraphrase translation. Normally I read either the NRSV or the King James, but I like that. I like using the Message when I'm with people and I don't know how biblical.
And most people then will have Bibles with them. They'll bring with them. They'll know to do that, so they can follow along perhaps if they want.
Right. And you can read as short as just a verse, or you can read an entire chapter if you want to. It's up to the individual, and it can be a very powerful way of ministry.
Right, and then no commentary though.
And no commentary. No, the idea is to sit down, and the next person who stands up to read should be reading something that they're led to, and not necessarily something that's a follow-up. We try. It's not a thing to have a thematic thing where we're all talking about love or forgiveness or patience, even though that can happen. As in any Quaker meeting, sometimes themes develop. The idea is to be led by the Spirit to read what you're reading.
Sure. Yeah, and it was very powerful. I guess this might actually be the first time I've really done it, and I found it very powerful, and a lot of the passages did speak to things that were going through my head that way. So it was real great. So great. So thank you, Charles Martin,
Well,
San Francisco meeting, and
thank you, Martin.
good.
And thank you, YouTube.
Thank you, YouTube. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.